you out there. It's a privilege to be back. It's a brand new week. And of course, Monday, the 9th of March, 2026, a whole lot is happening in international markets. And of course, we are seeing a bit of that affect the local buzz, especially when it comes to the petroleum marketing and petroleum industry stocks. Apologies for coming this late. It has to do with technical issues that was being battled with, and now we are fully back live and direct, hoping that on all platforms we are good to go. We can be heard and seen clearly and loudly. Thank you very much for joining from wherever you are. I remain your wealth creation enthusiast with a passion for helping individuals and corporate organizations build their personal and corporate net worth via investing in the stock market. And that's why you refer to me as Wealth Coach Omiete. Please be informed, the stock market is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You've got to stay calm and do not invest with a gambler's mentality. I will not waste our time to go on to do review of trading activities because of the time already lost. We will proceed straight to taking your comments. A lot is happening in the markets, and we must be informed as we proceed. This morning, we were talking about a few things in the group. And then, of course, some of the posts I made was almost mistaken to be recommendations, whereas they are only information keeping us abreast with the activity situation in the Middle East that is influencing oil prices. And of course, when oil prices jump, oil stocks will follow, irrespective of the fundamentals. Please let's understand that a stock is rallying for whatever reason it is going on in the market does not mean the fundamentals change overnight. So my stand on most of these stocks remain the same, irrespective of the short term. I'm trying to sign in now so I can be able to give you bit by bit, but I know that Charms was being offloaded at some point. I think the bids were slightly less than the offers. Let's see what the situation is now. There are general market trends that happen. Sometimes some people want to offload a particular stock so they can be a part of the rally going on in the oil sector. So you have the likes of Etana Oil this morning going on full bid, Avon Corn Oil going on full bid, the likes of while the likes of Aradel and Seplat remain unchanged. Okay, so just hold on a bit, trying to rectify the situation with transmission on Facebook right now. I hope you can hear me on all platforms. Yes, so we had God First. God First always for me. He says, good day, coach, with 25 million at hand, what one or two stocks only can I buy for long-term investment 5 years? This is a highly concentrated investor, and we see what we can do with 25 million. Two stocks, I would say, just focus on two stocks at this point, based on your strong demand for high concentration. 5 years. A stock like, oh my, okay, is there a reversal somewhere? Okay, a stock like, I would go with, if I were in your shoes, 5 years, two stocks. One will be Aradel, the other will be Bitter Glass. Solid, 25 million. Get in there and sit tight. It's as simple as that, okay? Good afternoon, coach. Please, how can I move my investment from one stockbroker to another? You sent me the link on Instagram, but I couldn't get through the app you said we should download. Adewuyi Ayodeji Joshua. Joshua, I think you are talking about the Discord link, the Discord group link. Do well to first, after installing the app, after downloading the app, you install and then you open your own Discord account before you can be able to use the link. Without those 3 key steps, the link is useless. Keep the comments coming in, ladies and gents. We continue to progress from here, hopefully without any form of hindrances, as we try to make connections established with Facebook. Coach, justify between CWG and VFD for long term. Samsung, I would go with CWG for now because I think it has a more near-term chance of progressing from where it is, considering the fact that VFD has really done a lot for its shareholders. And seeing that CWG is around 20, it's even pulled back down from the 25 and 22 it used to hang on. Right now it's 20, though there are 5 million bids versus 2.7 million offers. CWG seems to be offering a lot to the market this morning. I kept seeing it at under even 20. So I would go with that because there seems to be some level of instant gratification there for anybody who wants to go into either of them at the moment. Hello, Coach. Can you explain more why the market doesn't lose or gain 10% in a day? I don't understand. Why the market doesn't lose or gain 10% in a day? Or you mean why the market does lose or gain 10% in a day? Actually, G-Money Stories, it's one of the listing requirements and the rules of the exchange as far as the NGX is concerned, that prices do not fluctuate more than 10% a day, whether it's losing or gaining. And that's because they do not want too much of volatility, in consideration of the fact that there are so many older generation investors who are not tech savvy and cannot follow market trends the way we now know it these days, because there are so many people who are heavily invested in stocks like that and they could be taken advantage of. And so this rule has been there for long, but I think with the level of development of the market these days, it is almost time for them to market doesn't lose. Oh yes, it's almost time for them to review that threshold. At least that limit should be raised to like 20% now, so that it will also deepen market activities, and of course traders will be happier for it. It's completely different from the US market, where you have so much volatility, as much as 500% and even 1000%. I've seen stocks do 1000%, and it's really an amazing watch. But if you are on the receiving end when stocks collapse in price, then you will know how terrible it can be, doing very high limits. Hello, Coach. I desire to add more LLX. My entry was 13. Price is still dropping. Is it a good one? Echoes of purchases. What you can do is hold on and see how it bottoms out. Do not be in a rush, especially now that there is not much activity or information in the market that will spur buying pressure. But you know what? It's actually even the best time to buy. So if you are way below your price, even if it's dropping, you could just take some and then hold on and see whether it drops further to take more. Once you are satisfied with your quantity, you cross your legs and wait for time to do the heavy lifting. Good day, Coach. Please, I need 1 or 2 stocks to dump 300K for a year. Thank you. I don't think you need up to 2 stocks. 1 is okay for 300K. And I think if you are looking at a year, 300K, maybe you should look the way of the likes of Mark Nichols or TIP. But interestingly, TIP has crossed 19, having stayed around 18 for so long. Okay. Coach, PZ on full offer. James is saying, of course, it's normal to see a flying stock suddenly be on full offer. And that tells you that it's really time for profit takers to sell off and collect what they have made in terms of profit, because short-term investors will surely sell off and move on to other things. And that's what's going on as far as PZ is concerned. But don't be surprised, it may just last for only one day. For those of us who are in PZ for the long term, we have no problems. We've seen this severally from before it started leaving the 39 and 40 range. We've seen this happen over and over again. So we just stand by and watch to see how long it takes. And if it dips below your entry, then you can take position. But this is quite far away from us yet at the moment. That jump to 79 was a whole lot. And of course, every other trader who bought around 70 and 72 will be happy to take profit immediately. And that's what has led it to go on full offer, meaning no bid whatsoever, even if 618,000 shares has been traded already. So it was a case of big time traders coming in and taking full advantage of that jump. And so they've thrown it into full offer. We'll see how it goes. All right, we go on to YouTube again and see what the comments are. Hi, coach. Currently accumulating tip for the long term and possible 500,000 shares. Ogun Shakin, Kende, well done. Please stay focused, finish your job, and relax. Tip eventually will be hitting 30 naira, maybe at the end of this year or by this time next year. So if you are buying your tip now, relax yourself, do it one step at a time and take a chill pill. Coach, around what time in the year will charms start running? We do not know exactly. We don't time the markets actually. We just look for prospects in a stock and take position. It's a long-term prospect. Charms is doing a lot of things. They've expanded to some African countries as well as their Nigerian activities. But for this year, we anticipate a revenue surge due to election activities. They should be getting enough contracts from the government from doing voters card to BVAS machines and all of those things that is needed for elections. And of course, don't forget, more banks will be printing their ATM cards and all those things. And that's what Charms is good at, okay? We just wait to see the outcome of their first, second, and third quarter results, because within these 3 quarters of 2026, we should be able to see a difference in their revenue and profits going forward. And of course, that eventually will now come to settle in to boost the stock price. Good afternoon, coach. I have QTix, Nigerian Breweries, PZ, FCMB, and UB in my portfolio. I love growth and dividend stocks. Going forward, what stocks do you recommend? I buy, sell, hold. Well, I'm looking at your portfolio now. It looks solid. And so there's really nothing to sell right now, because I would have said FCMB right away. But you want to give it a chance as well to see what the full year result is like before you make up your mind. But I'm very certain of Nigerian Breweries, PZ, and UBA. QTix will need a little time to recover and continue to make progress. That's why it's in our 1 million share challenge. And so nothing more to sell, because whatever shocks QTix and the likes of FCMB in that portfolio causes, Nigerian Breweries, PZ, and UBA should be able to cushion it and keep your portfolio in good health through any market fluctuations. I hope you understand that. So, well, if you say what to buy right now, the market is a very, very sensitive place, and currently one needs to be very careful. 1 minute MTN is chasing 800, the next minute it's down back under 800 to 781 and so on, while oil stocks are supposed to be flying now, but it's the marketers most of which are jumping at the moment. So you want to stick to the fundamentals, look through to see how some of these stocks continue to pull back, if they pull back. Remember, we are now away from the collective bull run, started by the penny stocks in January, then the big guns took over in February, and towards the end of February, we started seeing pullback. So now it will be individual performances that will be driving any serious market activity. So the likes of NGX Group continues to just rise. As we speak, it's at 165, up from the 150 it closed on Friday. Whether or not it will close at that price, we don't know, but I know maybe might close at 160 naira per share. 1.4 billion naira invested already in NGX. So you need to be careful in picking the stocks you are interested in now. And if they've not gotten to your preferred price, then you stay on and stay patient with it. That's what I think at the moment. Okay, there will be a lot of individual runs made by some of these stocks. We just stand by and watch to see. For now, it's all eyes on oil stocks, and that is what has been caused by the Middle East conflict going on right now. Styled by, oh my God, I've passed that. So please remember, keep posting or pasting, copy and paste your charts or your comments so I can be able to see it, even if it scrolls past automatically as I know the screen to behave. The real Diokpa says, hi coach, what's your take on Honeywell floor? We milked Honeywell floor seriously last year. By this time, it had moved from the 4 naira it was beginning of last year to around maybe 12 naira, and then it went on to the 20 something it was. In fact, it got to 27 before pulling back or something like that. So I think that for anybody in Honeywell, it's more like a 50-50 situation. The financials were not too wonderful, but it's not a disaster. So coupled with the fact that the parent company hasn't come out to state exactly what they want to do. But you know, most of us who made money then had to move on and put the money elsewhere because we couldn't have been sitting by and still watching to see. Honeywell actually got to, let me see what the 52 weeks high is currently. Currently at 21.95. Honeywell actually rose to 30.20 kobo when it rallied that last year. But most of us, I think, left around 27 or so and moved on the funds to other things. So for now, it's a 50-50 situation with Honeywell, whether anything good can come out of holding it. Hi, coach. Is Charms still a good recommendation? Looking at average down, or I should wait? Charms is one that always is happy to give. Let's see how much it is now. If it's selling below 4 naira, that's a fantastic price. That's it. They are 3 naira 95. Suddenly, these Charms that ran up as much as let's see how far it ran that time. It ran above 5. Yes, 5 naira 45. It's now at 3 naira 90. Someone even bought at 3 naira 92 kobo, 11,370 shares. Okay, even though this is the mystery with Charms, even though the offers, the bids are more than the offers, 18 million bids versus 13 million offers, and yet the price is dropped from 405 to 388 now. Meanwhile, there's a whole lot of, I am thinking there's a whole lot of mix up here, unless they are cross deals, because one moment I'm seeing 3 naira 88, the next moment I'm seeing 3 naira 92, and even though the bids I'm seeing are much higher than what the price is appearing to be sold for. For instance, current highest bid is at 3 naira 98 kobo. In fact, there is a 500,000 bid at 3 naira 98 kobo as well. But the last person bought 80 shares, 80, and it was at 3 naira 92. There is no way a seller could have skipped 398 all the way down to 3 naira 92 to buy just 50, or is it 80? So okay, there's another transaction that's just happened, 3 naira 95 and 39,000 shares. Now that's more like a real transaction that took place. So a whole lot is happening, and if you are lucky, if you are wise, you will quickly take advantage of this dilly-dallying going on and buy, maybe putting a bid at 395, because it looks all temporary. What I'm seeing playing out here as far as Charms is concerned, that's it there again. Another person has bought 3,000 shares at 3 naira 95 kobo. So I think even though there are bids, a lot of offers, I mean bids as high as 398, I'm still seeing transactions going on at 395. But this can also be explained. For instance, if these bids I'm seeing now are from another house, Okay, there are about 507,000 bids at 3.98 right now. But the last transaction was done at 3.95, just 3,000 shares bought. What I'm trying to explain is this is possible because let's assume the over 500,000 bids at 3.98 is being offered by a seller in, let's say, AfriInvest. Okay, and I'm seeing it here now on my screen, but I am using Assume Atlas. Now, if an Atlas bidder puts in a bid lower than what the AfriInvestor is putting, there's a chance that I could buy from that Atlas person or sell to that Atlas person before picking the offer or bid from the AfriInvest seller or buyer. Okay, so this kind of mix-up can happen. And then another reason why this can also happen is if there is a cross deal, okay, cross deals, two houses or in the same house, they come together, two buyers come together to say, sell to me at this price, I buy at this price because I'm giving you volume and so on. I'm buying off volumes, give me at a discount. If they agree, that deal can happen in the form of a cross deal, okay, executed by the two brokers, or if it's the same house he's participating in. Ladies and gentlemen, the oil rally looks to have started reflecting in Aradel as well. Aradel is now gaining 39 naira 50 kobo. Currently, suddenly jumps to 1,339. Let me see what the bid and offer looks like. There are 1.9 million bids versus 1.2 million offers. So the oil rally is on. Aradel suddenly, that wasn't in a gaining position, has suddenly taken that 39 naira 50 kobo gain. Let's see whether Seplat is also affected. Unfortunately, Seplat is not positively affected at the moment, of course, because we know it's really very expensive. Good morning, coach. Can I bid for tantalizers today and at what entry price? Max is asking. Let's go on to the equity board to see how much tantalizers currently is at the moment. Tantalizers at the moment, 5 naira 54 kobo, down by 10 kobo from the 4 naira 54 kobo, sorry, down from the 464 it closed yesterday. So here we are, 7.2 million bids, 8.3 million offers. I am thinking maybe at 4.5, though there are nearly 500,000 bids at 4 naira 50 kobo. It could still go lower. You never know. It's the beginning of the week and anything can happen. All right. Okay, so make up your mind whether to stay patient and watch how low it drops, because there's not much that have been sold today. 2.5 million shares traded so far as tantalizers is concerned. Good day, coach. I have a Como, Zenith, MTN, WAPCO, and GTCO, like 100 to 200 shares per stock. Please, I'd like to reduce it. Also, kindly advise the one to top up. Viv, you can't be having 200 shares. And you made very fantastic picks, very good companies, all of them, Okomu, Zenith, MTN, WAPCO, GTCO, excellent. But when you buy 100 shares, 200 shares, then you're not going to make progress and you just be spreading money all over the place. Okay? Now it's difficult for me to also tell you to sell them off. What you should do is accumulate a particular stock, concentrate and grow it to a good extent before you buy something else. That's how to start well. Because if you keep picking this and that and that, and that's the social media approach. Every time you see some of these posts, they'll say, I got 50 Aradel, 100 this, you are just playing. You have not started yet. Because Aradel can do 500% in your portfolio and your total gain will end up being 10,000 naira. It doesn't make any sense again. MTN has rallied from 300 naira to 700 naira plus, over 100%. But when you check your balance, your gain specifically, you find that it's not amounting to much in terms of value. So overspreading is not okay at all. Everybody needs to learn this. You see someone
The first comment I responded to was someone who was going to invest 25 million and he was requesting for only one stock or two stocks to invest that money in. That's someone who really wants to concentrate and make money out of it. And whatever he buys now, whatever progress it makes within the 1 year or so that he's waiting to see it grow, it will be substantial enough. The truth is, you will have to be disciplined enough to close your ears to the noises going on about other stocks that you don't have that may be rallying at the time yours is not rallying. It's a normal thing. Not all stocks will fly the same day. Hello, coach. How much can I bid for 50,000 custodian? Ajikawo custodian. I think I saw it pull back today. Let's see what it is right now, because that's another very stubborn stock. Just silently glides upwards endlessly, in fact. So let's see what custodian is doing right now. Yes, custodian has been brought down to earth after jumping all the way to 81 naira 90 kobo. I think it's now at 76 and there are more offers than bids. That's a stock that anybody should go for if it pulls back well enough. So on Friday, it closed at 81 naira 90 kobo. Now it's at 76 naira 60 kobo. The question is, will it close at 76.60? The answer is only if 100,000 block transaction is ever done at 76.60. If all the transactions that have been done, there is no block 100,000 transaction at that price or lower, then it reverts back to the 81 naira 90 kobo it closed on Friday. Even if intraday it's selling at 76.60. At the moment, 76.60 is a very good price to buy. It's just been changing. It's now changed to 79.10. Okay, but I think if you see it at 76, you can bid at 76.60 and see if you can take it. Remember, I've been saying this, that custodian is a 90 naira stock by my estimation. And just like play from 45 to 50 to 60 to 70, it did 81.90 on Friday. Very close to the 90 naira, and it's just pulling back, which is understandable as well. Please, pullbacks are part of the market. You can't run away from it. You can't avoid it. If you want to enjoy a huge run, then prepare to always sit in there and watch pullbacks come and go. If you keep coming and going, but the most important thing is with time, the price continues to appreciate overall. Coach, what's your take on Fidelity? Ayowale, I'm heavily tempted to buy Fidelity even today. And it's now at 1950. I don't know what's holding me back, whether I want to see the reports before I buy, but if I have to wait till then, it may look like, okay, be ready to struggle with the crowd. But I'm still bidding my time and trying to make up my mind on what to do. Okay. Good morning, coach. Okay, can I be for tantalizers? I think I've responded to you. Izuchuku says, coach, what site do you use to monitor the market? Izuchuku, I use the web portal of my broker, Atlas Portfolios. They give me the opportunity to do real-time to view real-time market activities and also directly transact. Let me inform us. The reason why not everybody or every broker is giving you this access, for whatever other reason they have, because this gives you the opportunity to do it yourself and latch onto fantastic opportunities as you find them in the market. So for me, this is the best. But you know what? Part of the reasons why some other houses don't give you this access is because they pay for it. The fee, right, to pay for real-time data on the NGX is higher than delayed data. So different stockbrokers decide what they want to do, and then they go in and do that. So you can't be on some platforms and still get these updates that I'm getting, because perhaps those platforms did not subscribe for real-time data. It's much more expensive to do that. Okay, so much more proactive brokers will say, let's go in there, pay for it, and let our people have direct access and see exactly what's happening per second. So that's it. Okay, ladies and gents, keep the comments coming in. I'm here with you. Coach, please speak on WAPCO. Well, my opinion about WAPCO is it remains the best amongst right now in terms of PE ratio. Yes, PE ratio. When you look at the others, talking about Boa Cement and Dang Cement. Dang Cement, of course, the most profitable, but as far as PE ratio is concerned, WAPCO is more attractive to me. All you need to do is stay on, wait for WAPCO to pull back again, because it has a tendency to always pull back a lot before continuing its run. So even if it closed at 210 naira per share last week on Friday, it's currently at 202. And believe me, it's possible that one can still get it under 200, but it will consolidate around that 200 for a while, and then from time to time someone will get impatient and maybe they have strong need for money, urgent need for money, and then they jump in and sell off below 200. It bounces back until there'll be a time when it decides to surge ahead again and then proceed above 210 onto maybe 220 or thereabouts. So that's the trajectory and the behavior of most of these stocks. While we are talking, someone has now decided that they will get some Seplat at 9,000, and they've done. And for that reason, a few beats are mounting now on Seplat above the 8,900 that it was selling for recently. I wish I had control over how this screen scroll. It would have been helped. It would have helped me a lot. So, coach, is it good to buy 250,000 worth of charms? Have 750k worth already. Namdi Oguche. I think charms is at one of the best prices you can find anytime. So it will be good to, I'm sure you'll be also buying lower than you initially did, and that will be okay. One stock that is unrelenting is NGX Group. I am thinking strongly now that pension money might have found its way into NGX as well, because it's just a 1-for-3 bonus they are giving, but the price continues to rally. Even for those who bought at 110, you are about approaching 50% gain already. And we are talking just 2 weeks ago. Okay, so 1.5 billion already are traded on NGX. Coach, what's the best buy for today? Well, you can't really figure what the best buy is because the prices fluctuate from time to time. I've seen various opportunities, for instance, in the likes of CWG that I saw dropping as low as 19 at some point. Currently, it's back up to 20.50, even if the closing price on Friday was 21. So some desperate sellers have sold at 19 and moved on. And then it's come up to 20 naira 50 kobo. Now look at this. The weighted average cost, price it has sold for today is 19 naira 95. Talking about CWG, and imagine nearly 4 million shares were traded. So there was heavy sell-off most recently. But that's a very good stock. Like I say, I still insist it's a 25 naira stock. And then the other one is quietly, I don't know who may be in the market trying to dump a lot of charms. 3 naira 95 was what is sold last. Weighted average price 388. So down from the 405 it closed. That's another very interesting price at the moment. Well, it's doing between 398 and 395. It's now 398 again. And then, of course, there is a bid at 399. In fact, there is a bid at 4 naira, 87,000 bids at 4 naira. But the last transaction was 398. So those sort of fluctuations. And then if you notice, the bids are 20.6 million bids versus 12 million offers. So the bids are more for charms than the offers. But the price still is slightly less than the previous closing price. So anybody who is buying or bought at 388, 390, 395, 398, you are getting a good bargain at the moment. But if that is not the kind of stocks you are looking for, then the other best buys may not appeal to you as well. For instance, for me, current best stock to buy is Bitter Glass, but it's expensive, 455, and continues to have too many offers at the moment, which is normal. Those who bought at 300 and 200 are still in the market trying to sell and move on to other things. Please do not chase petroleum stocks if they are not available at a comfortable price. By now, you should know better how we do this. For instance, this morning I put up a teaser when I made mention of how a stock like Jais Bank performed. Jais Bank was 4 naira 75 kobo on the first trading day of this year, and then boom, it got to 15 naira, and then suddenly collapsed to 10, where it is right now. And the question was, what is the lesson you learned from there? Because some people bought at that 475, some bought at the 15 when it kept flying. And you know me, I will always tell you, when a stock begins to fly that way and goes out of reach, suddenly is on full bid, you just look away, because that's a big temptation. The reason is you will go and buy high. Those who went in with short-term funds will dump on you and get out. And by the time they finish selling off, they have sold down below your own price that you entered. So everybody must get rid of FOMO, fear of missing out. Yes, the stock is rallying. Yes, everyone is talking about it, but that's too late. That's when it's too late for you to get in. And if it's so good, then you wait for a comfortable pullback. When those short-term money leaves, they will force it down. When it is forced down, you can now go in and buy. For instance, last week I saw it drop as low as 9 naira, but very briefly. That was the value zone to enter Jais. Who would have thought this? The same Jais we were seeing at 3 naira last year by this time. All right? Okay. Coach, how much do you think I can bid for CWG as of today? Tobani, let's see what CWG is doing. I'm going back there now to check. Currently, CWG is at 2050. I wish you can buy it around 19. Well, the bids have mounted above the 19. So suddenly there are over 300,000 bids at 20 and above. Before this time, before I came on live, there was no 20 naira bid for CWG. It was that bad. But you see, so you take advantage of opportunities when pressed sellers come in to offload. They just keep selling down till they sell the quantity they have. They don't care how low the price goes. But you know what? The market will just suddenly correct it again as time ebbs away. All right, keep the comments coming in. Let's go on to where I haven't been at all. Okay, we missed our Instagram family, Facebook family today. They got caught up in the crossfire of switching to make sure that everything is restored. Okay, Tunde Afin says, hello coach, kindly speak on Northern Nigerian flour mills. Okay, that's another one that we really benefited from last year, Northern Nigerian flour mills, but currently, and there was strong anticipation as at last year that this stock will be eventually delisted by the parent company, but nothing was done. And so the rally up to 79, in fact, it got as high as 100, right? Yes, 138 at some point. It got to 138, and then since nothing was forthcoming, we began to see people taking the profits, all the way. I think we started buying at 40 something. So taking the profits all the way. I also sold and moved on because I needed the funds to do other things. That's why we are here, to recycle the money, to keep growing it. And it will interest you to note right now, actually, that Northern Nigerian flour mills is suddenly selling lower than its 52 weeks low. And if this continues and the price changes, just that you will hardly find any transaction worth 100,000 at once. That's just the problem I'm seeing now, because the 52 weeks low is 74 naira 5 kobo, and today intraday it's selling in bits at 71 naira 50 kobo, and it's on full offer. So anybody who is trying to sell will find it difficult to sell. Marachi says, Coach, are UBA and TIP still good buys? UBA absolutely good buy. Since it was staying at that 47, I saw it climb to 48 today. In fact, out of the 2.7 million shares, 8.8 million traded today, the weighted average is still at 48.02, meaning a lot of people bought at 48, but currently it's at 47.90. So I think UBA is still very good at that 47. For TIP, it's gone up to 19. I would have rather you buy at under 19, so 18 something. But then, who are we? TIP has actually stayed long enough at 18, and now we're seeing it at 19. So best price would have been under 19, but I'm looking now to see there are about 800, in fact, 918,000 bids at 19 naira and above. So that makes it difficult for you to buy TIP at 19, at least for today. Last week it was selling around 18 for so long, and that would have been another fantastic time. But then, if you are going in long term, this care we take in deciding at what price to enter is to save you any kind of immediate loss experience. You know, even if you're taking a long-term position and it dips, no problem, but you don't want that feeling to last too long. So you find a way to buy at the cheapest possible price, so that you don't end up experiencing a dip too long. Sometimes if you enter well, the moment you buy the stock, it goes up and never ever goes red. Okay? So, good coach, is it okay to sell 50,000 Zenith at 86% profit to add to my 227,000 units of UBA? Idris Yusuf, I don't think so. I don't think it makes sense to sacrifice your Zenith for UBA. If it was the other way around, I would understand. Even though I can see that you're trying to up the volume of UBA you have, for balance sake, I think you shouldn't sell your Zenith unless you are interested in also selling the UBA eventually when it makes any serious progress. Otherwise, just hold that Zenith and let it keep growing, because Zenith should be doing above 100 soon, or at least that's where it should be. When you have the likes of Stanbic IBTC doing around 130, let's see how much Stanbic is, because that one has one level of stubbornness that a lot of people don't understand. Stanbic will just go ahead and just be going, ignore every other person and keep going. That's it there. Stanbic, having closed at 133 on Friday, is doing 139 naira 85 kobo right now. So when you see Stanbic at 139, GT at 120 or so, you expect Zenith to also be up there. So don't sell your Zenith. Coach, what's happening to LRLX? Nothing is happening to LRLX. The market has already recovered from the disappointment of the return of the public offer funds, and now the onus is on the leadership of LRLX to proceed to the drawing board and grow the company organically, and be patient and don't jump the gun. You can't run faster than your shadow. You want 250 billion, you do not have consistent revenue and profit yet. It's not that easy. Okay? That same amount is available. Anybody can give to any other company, but those companies would have proven themselves to be worthy of such amount of money. So that's why I did not, subscribe to the public offer, even if I have a lot of LLX. So my LLX is there for the long term, and I'm holding on while I watch to see how they improve going forward with what they already have in terms of the new company they acquired with the plots of land, planted palms, and unplanted hectares as well. So they've got some reasonable assets. It's now time to grow it via revenue generation and all that. Charms is back to 4 Naira 30 Kobo. Are you kidding me? Let's see. I told you Charms is one of those stocks that keeps giving. That's it. It's at 4 at the moment. So a whole lot is going on with these Charms, and suddenly bids are now building up at 4 and above for something that was really being offloaded at 3 Naira 88, as low as 388 or 385, 90 or so. See? So everyone just needs to know what they are doing and take full advantage of the opportunities there is. These things, there is no hanky-panky. You've got to be brave and get into a stock if you are really that interested, and then stay the course. Okay, ladies and gents, it's time to take your calls on TikTok. I will try my best right now to keep taking your comments as I try to also anchor the calls. So don't stop placing your comments, and let's go. Ciziala, hello coach. Oh, I have Aradel, CWG, GT, May and Baker Mutual Benefits and NGS Group. I want to add 1 million NGN to my portfolio. 1 million Naira to my portfolio. Which single stock will you advise me to invest in, or should I just top up? 1 million Naira, just top up on your CWG. That looks a very attractive discount at the moment. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, are you there? I do not intend to waste too much time so that we can take full advantage of.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell us your name and where you are streaming from.
Ikem Benzoic, sir.
Ikem Benzoic. We're glad to have you. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. I want to ask, what will be the impact of these Middle East prices on consumer goods stocks?
Consumer goods stocks will not suffer any major negative impact. Why? Because Nigerians will keep eating and all. Actually, the war or the crisis is only going to affect, in the immediate term, companies that operate in the airline industry. They call it leisure industry. Airlines, hotels, especially in the affected routes, oil, and maybe gas. Otherwise, depending on how long or short it is, there is no other sector that is going to be heavily impacted. Even if it stays so long, it may not impact those companies that get their raw materials from abroad, unless there are items that come from those routes or locations that are under air missile attacks. Otherwise,
running costs, because fuel will go up, and some that are based in Nigeria, companies like Magnicos and others that might be using diesel and fuel to operate their machines and all that, since we don't have steady power supply.
Well, that will only impact them negatively initially if it lasts long enough. Once there is a ceasefire or negotiation, surrender, peace talks, oil prices will tank. So what we are seeing is just a short-term volatility that we're not sure how long it lasts. And if it's that short-term, then it won't impact them negatively to now call for a price increase. But we all know, actually, that when oil prices rise and petroleum product prices increase, it eventually amounts to inflation. So generally, you are asking an inflation question, which is likely, but it all depends on how long, because the transporters will not continue to bear the costs. But if it's short term, fuel jumps from 950 to 1,200, maybe for 2 days and then comes back, there will be no need for it to now reflect on the prices of goods. But if it is a sustained hike in crude oil prices, which amounts to higher petrol costs, then let's expect general inflation. Now, when there is inflation, these things are so intertwined. Let me explain further. You may want to celebrate that, inflation means the likes of Mark Nichols, PZ, UACN, Dank Sugar, all those people in the FMCG sector will be increasing their prices. But the same goes for eventually the overhead costs, the running costs. So that justifies whatever price increase they come with. Then again, inflation also reduces spending because people will now be more careful. Somebody who used to buy custard produced by Mark Nichols may end up deciding, I'm not doing custard no more. I better go for Akamu. He laughs. so there are always two sides to the coin all the time. You know, that's
doesn't give the same vibe, coach.
Well, it's not about the vibe at some point. When hunger strikes, you will now know that you will have to leave vibes for a moment first and focus on satisfying your hunger at the moment. And Akamu is the easy option to go for. So that's just one example. Honestly speaking, there are so many options. That's when you now see that, okay, there are options to these things. Don't worry, we're just trying to cruise. But now everybody has to behave themselves. That's when you.
People will actually discover that it's even more delicious than.
Oh, exactly the point that Ebele is making in the comments right now. Can you see that? That's exactly what Ebele is saying. By the time you mix one or two things in it, you can get things like soya bean and all those things and add to it. Before you know, it becomes richer and more nutritious. And then you start questioning yourself, what was I doing with custard all along? It's all right. He's done. He said he's done. Oh my God. So you've not seen anything yet. When trouble comes, you will know that there are shorter routes to these things. Suddenly, you feel more comfortable taking night bus instead of taking flight. 1 million naira from Port Harcourt to Abuja or from Lagos to Port Owerri. 1 million naira. You will find comfort in taking night bus because at that time, apart from the risk involved, it's a cool ride. You know, it's a quiet night, and then you sleep, and then you arrive the next morning. Okay, so that's the way it works. You know, unfortunately, there is no Akamu stock in the stock market because at that point, that's when we would have been rallying around any Akamu stock, Akamu manufacturers listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and boom, Akamu will start selling for 10 naira per share. You never know. Oh my God. It's always interesting getting these calls, right? Coach, I have 500K to invest for the next 1 year. What stock would you recommend? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Your name and where you're streaming from.
This is Bozoti streaming from Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you, Bozoti. Go ahead.
Sir, I would like to top up my NGX, but I don't know.
Oh my
I
God.
know this is not the right time to actually do that because it's just flying. Like I'm currently on 70%.
What were you waiting on? What were you waiting for? Unless you didn't have the cash last week.
Yes, exactly. That was what happened. But now I have.
Take your eyes off.
Oh,
Let me ask. How many do you have?
I have just 10,000 units on NGX, and it's so sad right now.
Let's see. I think I've been logged out for inactivity. So it will take me some time to get back there, but I am thinking now that sometimes when you feel like it's too late, it may not be too late, especially if it's a top up. If you have 10,000 already, with the funds you have, based on current price, what's your rough estimate of how much it can get you? How many it can get you this time?
Yeah, 5M actually. I want to put 5M back.
I'll work it out. Let's see. 5M at 163. How much will it get you? How many will it get you?
That should be.
Around 30,000. That will really that will really blow up your average entry price. If you had 30,000 and you are now adding 10,000, it will be very negligible. Okay, what's your average entry price for the existing 10,000?
100.
Ooh. Well, it's up to you. I'm seeing that there are 2.6 million bids versus 869,000 offers. So this one seems to seriously be a hot cake, and that's why I'm suspecting pension money is taking position there because 2 billion naira has been spent already. So you want to just take on the risk, go in there, buy your 30,000, and damn the consequences. In any case, there are various upsides or positives to it. First off, you qualify for more bonus shares because, in fact, the 30,000 shares you are buying will already entitle you to 10,000 free shares as bonus, going by the 143. Not to talk of the existing 10,000 that will fetch you another like 3,000 something. All right. Then, of course, with pension money getting in there, this is 2 billion already. It's traded 12.9 million shares traded already, and I should think, and you are going to be averaging up, meaning your final cost will not be 162 or 161. So I think you go in there, put in a bid at 161, buy and damn the consequences. In the end, more dividend for you, more bonus shares coming. And there is a likelihood the price will eventually recover back to how much you bought this last time.
So I should just go in.
I am even thinking this stock is going to settle at 200.
That's what I'm thinking. So.
All right, think right, think well, and act accordingly. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hi, coach. I have a 4 plot of land, and I'm really not okay now with my finances, and I want to invest. Alusin Kano. If you have 4 plots and you've got that conviction, maybe you sell half. Sell half, take time and get into solid stocks and stay calm. This half of the 4 plots, that is 2 plots that you will be bringing to the market, may just replace the money that you generated from buying the entire plot, the entire 4 plots. Coach, I have UPDC retantalizers, charms. I need a strong stock to protect my portfolio. Strong stock to protect your portfolio. Let's see. You You see, the stubbornness of this custodian is something to be studied. I thought it was going down after 81 and then 70 something. It's now up to 79 again. I thought I would have mentioned that for you, but it's gone back up. Let me even see CAP PLC. CAP. Hold on. Chemical and allied products. Okay. CAP is at 90. Don't go CAP. I think you should go for WAPCO. Go for WAPCO. Buy at 200 and below. Hi, coach. Beginner with 20 million. What 5 stocks can I go for 5 years? Please help with entry prices. Guy K. Beginner with 20 million. That's such an intentional beginner. Anyways, make sure you know the basics and understand that the market fluctuates. But I'm happy to give you a few for your 5 picks. 5 picks for 20 means 4 million in each. Nice allocation, nice spread. Let's go. WAPCO 200 and below. There are a lot of offers already at 200, nearly 200,000 shares on offer at 200, meaning you can actually buy less than 200 naira. So maybe 199 or 198. Fine entry for WAPCO. Then you look the way of UBA 47 and below. Currently 47.60. You want to wait for a pullback if you like, or 47.50 or 47.60. That will be okay. Then you go on to look for a stock like TIP. I like the growth in TIP. TIP is at 19.20. Hopefully you find it at 18, just under 19, and that's possible even today, but that's if they sell down all the way up to 680,000 shares, currently bidded for at 19 and above, then you can see it at 18.90. My ideal price for TIP at the moment is 18 something. Then we go on to Aradel. You don't want to miss on that particular one. Currently 1,330. Up till last week, it was trading at 1,100 and 1,095. But looks like the Middle East crisis has ensured that money keeps flowing in there. And what do we have? 4.2 billion naira again spent today on Aradel alone. That's a must-have for me until it hits 1,500. You know, I used to say when Aradel hits 800 naira, I won't be buying anymore. And I've stopped buying. And I kept saying, it's a 1,000 naira stock, it's a 1,000 naira stock, all the while when it was 400 and 500 naira. Now we are doing 1,300, and that's the way these stocks behave. Before our very eyes, Seplat just kept going and kept going year after year, and what we have is 9,000 now. We're not saying Aradel will do 9,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, but even when it touched 800, I said a year from now it will be 1.5. We're already at 1.3. That's just a few months after saying those things. So that's why I say the stock market is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but at times it surprises us with opportunities, quantum rewards for our investments. So I think I've mentioned up to 5, but again, I would like to add one FMCG as fast-moving consumer goods stock. Hold on a bit, I'll be with you shortly, and I would still go the PZ way or Unilever under 90, PZ under 70. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Your name and where you're streaming from?
My name is Ima. I'm streaming from the UK.
Ima from UK.
I wanted to get advice from you, but I like the advice you just gave regarding what one could invest with about 20 million.
Okay.
That's a similar question I wanted to ask. Then also, sir, you mentioned you advised for someone to invest in better glass. I noticed it made about 300% increase last year. Do you think it will go that high again?
Actually, We were all here when I mentioned Bitter Glass. Maybe you weren't here. November 2024, 15 naira. February 2025, last year, 60 naira. And one of us actually bought at 60. Then when it got to 300, I stopped mentioning Bitter Glass. I said, no, this thing from 50, 60 to now 300, I don't think there's any more upside. And this is me now mentioning at 400 that Bitter Glass is still good. That means I went back to the books and saw that they are doing excellently well and actually can pull off a good performance that will eventually further justify this call. Just a moment. When you see a stock doing 55 naira earnings per share, you are looking at a potential behavior of Presco. About this time last year, let me share with our YouTube, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook family the charts. By this time last year, maybe Presco had risen up to 500 or 600. I want to check now. And let me share with you, because that was the kind of signal we saw when we started buying Presco November 2024 at 450. Let me see what it was by this time last year, talking about Presco. Then I will share. So I'm going to share my screen now. Just hold on.
Okay, sir.
That's the chart for Presco. So if you can view, yes, 780 naira, 6th of March. So it means that it ran from, this is 2025. I'm going back to 2025. You see that November, December, 447 naira from when we started buying. I said it here, 450. Then January 2025, 581. At this point, it looked, where else is Presco going? Well, it went up to 780 in February. Then it went up to 855 in April. So it is having the same body language as Presco. Looking too expensive to take position in, but the numbers are telling a different story. Now, hold on. I'm going back to Bitter Glass on the charts. Everyone watching from the charts, you will see. Bitter Glass, there you are. By this time last year, I think it had risen to either 60 something naira. So let's see. That's Bitter Glass there. By this time last year, ooh, wow, 99 already. Okay, let me see as at January last year. So if I'm correct, okay, you can see December 16, 2024, 57 naira Bitter Glass. January 6th, 64 naira. So that's where one of us bought, I think January, February at 64. And then boom, February 99. And then April 99 as well. May 200 and something. So it could just happen that the same chart pattern of last year plays out again. It slowed down and stagnated in March. That's it. 6th of March, 99. It continued at that 99 all the way to April 24th, still 99. Then boom, May 20th, 258. Now, I am beginning to suspect that April, when it left the 99, was when the result came out and the market continued to react to bless it with further price appreciation. So I am thinking the same pattern is going to play out now. It will stagnate at this 400 and something all through March, get into April, then when the result is out, boom, it goes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Okay, we go on to the next, Diva. And this is where I stop sharing the screen so we can stay focused.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, could you go away from the noise?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are in a noisy place. Can you go away from the noise, please?
Hello, good afternoon.
Who is fighting to speak into your phone?
Oh, it's a driver that is.
No. We can't communicate like this. The man is speaking a language we don't understand, even if some of you understand. And that is confusing us because we are doing this is a global live stream of Net Worth Investors Club. Let the likes, another one is speaking again. Okay. So we leave them alone because the likes of Ikem is in Norway. He does not understand what people are saying. And he can't start speaking Norwich to Norwegian grammar to us as well. So let's deal with the one we understand. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name and where you're streaming from. Are you there? Better now. Go ahead. Good afternoon. Okay, so we go on. Miss Bibi. Lawrence. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Please speak on, I can hear you. Let's make it quick. Okay, so we're gonna save time now. Patience, next caller. 10x Lord, next caller. China Import, are you there? Good afternoon. James, are you there? Look at that. Just after I cut the call, I hear the voice. China Import, please call back in. Hi, coach. Oh, which stock can I buy today for 300K? I've said that before. Tip or 300K. Is that you buy tip or you go for McNichols? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Honestly, I was wondering, like, no one was talking and my face was quiet. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, your name and where you're streaming from.
I'm calling you from Canada.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, coach.
last week, our time has really been messing up. So trying to get you has been so hard. But thank God for yesterday. The time reversal has really helped a lot. And my question is, I was looking at the fundamentals of Access Bank, and I'm now like, they've acquired a lot of assets outside Nigeria, and that makes it a good potential for a long-time investor, right? But I know in the last few years, they've not done so well. 2024, they didn't do so well. 2025, they didn't do so well because they were acquiring those assets. So what's your take on Access Bank? I just want to hear from you because I'm thinking about going on a long term on this Access Bank.
Okay, the truth is, Access has a business model that is very, very bold and pragmatic, but may not appeal to some class of investors. Even if it is meant to make it a big bank or a big institution, organization, whatever, Access has neglected some of the holders. Please, you are not in a quiet. Where is the noise coming from?
It's not from me, it's coming from the other guy. It's not from Paul.
All right, so we can have a clear conversation. So Access goes about acquiring banks and becoming the largest Nigerian bank by assets. But you and I know the discerning investor is not moved by largest asset, because as you go on to acquire those assets, you are acquiring those banks with their liabilities as well. You are not just acquiring only assets, there are liabilities. So by the time you now check assets minus total liabilities, you will find that Access does not rank amongst the best banks in terms of net assets. And then that aside, we all know the aim of acquiring banks is to grow bigger, leverage on whatever market space penetration that those other acquired banks have existing, and build on that and keep growing. The problem is they've deliberately ignored shareholders who have remained patient and waited to at least see that Access performs as well as its pair, like UBA. So when it comes to dividend payment, they continue to give paltry dividend amount to shareholders. Shareholders look elsewhere and do not value the stock. So presently as we speak, when it comes to the numbers, Access Bank's share price is not a true reflection of the value of the stock. And that's primarily because shareholders have been neglected for so long. So if they can just change that, which the MD actually promised in the last AGM, that they will now slow down on acquisitions and focus on at least rewarding shareholders with better dividend payout. If they can do that, then Access stock price will find its way up to around 30. The reason why it keeps stagnating is just this particular factor that I have pointed out. So anybody who wants to acquire, you are acquiring based on hope that the management will keep their word. Then it becomes a 50-50 challenge. Are we together?
Okay, coach. Yeah, we are, because I looked at the fundamentals. I was like, Access is selling below market value, and I love assets because I have this ideology that when you buy asset, like when you talk about said they bought assets, and when that asset will start to make money for them, it will reflect in their books, to reflect in the reports, right? So I was looking at assets with that perspective. Like I was looking at it with their ideology that normally as a business person, when you buy assets, you will have done your maths and say, okay, I'm buying this assets. By this period of time, my shareholders will start seeing values in it. But going back to, you bought asset in 24, you bought asset in 25. What are the values that shareholders have seen? None. So I was skeptical about, I need to hear from you to really understand if I'm being, because there's no emotion here. If you're not giving me value, you're not giving me value. I have to look elsewhere. And you said it all, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The truth is, most of the banks are actually still undervalued in terms of what they sell now versus their fair value. Honestly speaking, it's not only access. And it's also explainable. You know, the banking sector is in a very unique sector where they are regulated to a great extent. Part of the reasons why bank stocks will not increase is because they keep having them to dilute the existing shares by instructing them to increase their capital base. Of course, it's so that we continue to enjoy a healthy financial space in the Nigerian banking industry. So it's quite understood to that extent, but everybody needs to know that most other banks are undervalued and they don't seem to always trade at their fair value. So in all you are doing, that's why we say compare them with their peers so you can make a fair judgment and not act on only one. You may be thinking, oh, Access Bank is undervalued and that's it. No. So many other banks are still undervalued based on the numbers available. So you've got to do your homework. And then when you see that most of them are undervalued, you now look for the ones that give shareholders value and go for that. That's why some of these stocks jump the way they do, you know, whereas their peers are where they are. Okay. Then another thing is you can't also generally compare a sector, a company in a sector different from it. That is, you compare a banking stock sector, a banking stock versus an oil and gas stock, because you need to also understand that there is one thing for a principle to exist. If you acquire more assets like he shared with us, it means it should reflect in your books. It is one thing for that principle to be there. It's another thing for the management of an establishment to execute accordingly, right? So these are the things. So banks are restricted a lot because they have to keep making certain provisions to make sure that they are able to absorb economic shocks. One of the worst sectors you want any crisis to happen is the banking sector. So they will rather retain earnings, keep it low, stay liquid and not share everything versus any other sector that is not under such strict regulations. So if you consider all this, for us as investors, where we're looking for is where the money is. Who will pay us more? And then we put the money there. No sentiments, like he said. No sentiment whatsoever. All right? So even if you work in Access Bank and you want to grow your money, if sentiment might say put it in Access, because you are looking at the faces of your management, but they are not even aware that you are a shareholder in the first place. So you better put your money where it works faster for you, because in the end, you walk away from wherever you work and you'll be left alone with what you have built in terms of your investments to look after you when you are older. Novabyte Gaming says, good evening, coach, depending on where he's reaching us from. What advice can you give to a salary earner who can invest 200K monthly? What stocks? The problem with this kind of question is no stock is going to wait for you for 1 year at a reasonable entry price. There will always come a time when that stock price may either go higher or may go lower. So you want to decide on what stocks to invest. You will need a price range. when you can't keep buying it, because that money can work better elsewhere. But if the stock you have targeted continues to stay at the same price, and for whatever conviction you have, you still are happy to buy continuously, not seeing any growth, then you keep buying. But it's always very rare because everybody wants their money to keep growing. So, for instance, those who bought NGX at 45 naira, 60 naira, 80 naira, seeing it at 163 naira today after, let's say, 3 months. I mean, it's difficult. It's harder now to keep buying that stock. So they want to look elsewhere. That's the way to do it. Okay, and I can't keep mentioning, most of the stocks I've mentioned today are okay for you to get into, but for how long will they remain at the entry prices as shared? So that's why we have a community like this, Net Worth Investors Club, always giving you market updates, information all through the weekend, 247. We are chatting on Discord app, communicating, analyzing, and all that. And I want to specifically thank the likes of Maobi, the likes of Dr. Birich, the likes of Anthony, and so many others who keep Rehoboth and everyone who keeps making the group functional, lively, and of course, very interesting to take knowledge and opportunities to grow money. You guys are simply amazing. I can't thank you enough. Okay? So everyone, stay smart and invest wisely. It is you first before anything. No sentiments, like I said. Hello, good afternoon. Sarah says PZ has more bids and offers right now. Let's see how that change just happened overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, something crazy just happened in PZ. From selling at 71 to now being selling at 75. It was on full bid. I said it here that tomorrow you will come back and see the PZ. That's how it happens. From 71 full bid, suddenly we have 9.5 million bids. From no bid at all, I mean full offer, we now have 9.5 million bids for PZ. Hello, good afternoon. I know these are not deliberate calls, so I don't need to get mad at them. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
I don't know why the call is not connecting early enough, and I would think, okay, the call has gone off. I need to go on to the next. Sorry about that, Uche. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon.
Your name and where you stream from?
Okay, my name is Vera, calling from Europe, Poland precisely.
Vera from Poland. We are glad to have you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm asking in regards to Como oil at the current price. Is it advisable for me to get some of the shares right now, or I should wait?
What price are you seeing it where you are?
1,775 or thereabout. The last I checked yesterday.
1,665. That was the closing price. 1,700. Well, the closing price was 1,765. It's currently available at 1,622. And there are 225,000 offers versus 72,000 bids. Highest bidder is bidding at 1,591. But if you put in a bid at 1,600, you are most likely to buy, or 1,591. There's a chance.
So my question is it a good time to buy, or I should wait for it to get more deep?
Actually, Okomu is not a stock to be afraid of buying, because in the long run, it's trying to do catch up with Presco. It will not necessarily catch up with Presco, but what it means is every time Presco moves higher, Okomu follows. So if you buy Okomu at 1,590 now, you are most likely going to see it near 1,800, maybe 2,000 going forward, maybe in the next 1 year or less, because Presco will keep climbing. And most importantly, that commodity never goes out of season in terms of demand.
So, do you suggest I buy Presco instead?
Presco is even more expensive. Though, if you ask me, amongst the two, Presco is a better option. But Presco is on full offer now, 2,083. If you buy Presco now, you'll be able to buy at 2,083. Though, you will see it at the end of the day at 2,315. So this is more like buying it at almost 300 naira discount, hoping going forward, full offer turns to full bid, or bids will start coming in and pricing higher than you are buying today.
Okay. I think I will go for Presco instead.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And my institute.
Say again. And my what? All right. Voice connection lost. Hello. Can you go away from the noise? Okay, your name and where you're streaming from.
Okay, my name is Godwin. I'm streaming from Lagos, Nigeria.
Godwin from Lagos, Nigeria. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Yes, so please, I have 50K to just put into some.
You have what?
Already, I have.
You have what?
Like 250,000 naira. 250,000. I just want to, though I have tip in mind to get, tip and UB in mind to get, but I just want to get some counsel from you. I already have some units of RNL, 10 IDF and bank sugar.
Are you a member of Net Worth Investors Club? Are you a member of Net Worth Investors Club?
Though I've not been regularly frequent.
You need to be frequent so that you can know what to do at this stage, because we are building everyone to be able to make a decision. The reason why I asked is because your question already has your answers. Are you with me? Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your question has your answers already.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
So proceed accordingly. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good morning from here.
Yes, sir. Please, your name and where you're streaming from.
Okay, my name is Itaka. I'm streaming from Chicago.
Itaka from Chicago. Go ahead. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I used to follow you on TikTok. As I saw this morning, I said, let me join. Okay, the first question I have, sir, is how do you become a member of the club?
Simple. Just send me a DM on Instagram. Follow and send on Instagram. and I'll forward the link to you. You will need to download Discord app, install on your phone, open your Discord account before the link works. If you don't do these three things, the link will not work. They are all layers of protection for club members, so that the link also expires with time. So when you get it, you use it immediately, free. But please, everyone who joins Network Investors Club, it is not investment club. So nobody's coming to ask you to bring money for them to invest on your behalf. We are only a pool of resource persons analyzing stocks, sharing information, market updates, and guidance. So each person now goes to invest as they are convicted. And hopefully everyone has been coming out with very good results over time. So it's a do-it-yourself club. Let no one lure anyone out of the group and swindle them of their hard-earned money. Are we together, sir?
Yes, sir. Okay, now, how do I get the WhatsApp or your WhatsApp page? I never follow you.
It's not WhatsApp. It's Instagram. Just forward, see on the link 3 on my bio, click, and then you see the Instagram icon. Also, click on the YouTube icon to subscribe to the YouTube channel. For those in the US and Canada and some other places where they cannot join this live stream, daily, every time we appear, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, the full live stream video is available on the YouTube channel. So you can go, take your time, watch, take notes, and act on them in the next trading day.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my last question before I leave. I need your advice because I used to follow you and I listened to your video. Which of the industry do you think is advisable? Because already I'm buying some stock banking and other company, which insurance and the rest. Which industry do you think is advisable to buy their stocks?
Well, even amongst industries, there are best companies. So you can find good companies in the oil and gas industry, agric, insurance, fast-moving consumer goods, industrial, and so on. But amongst all of these industries, including banking, you need to be sure you are picking the best. That's where that group comes in.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go to your link, this thing, I'll get it here.
All right, sir. Someone is complaining, you've sent you link request for DM or on DM to join the group. You don't reply. Guys, you need to know what the pressure is responding to DMs. If I keep responding to DMs, I will not be able to even give you any information. So the solution to that, when you send a DM after 24 hours, it's not been responded to. This is what has happened. Just after you sent, more people have sent, and it has buried what you sent out of view, out of sight. By the time I'm done with 2 hours of live stream and come there, your own is buried. Before I respond until I now go on to do other things, I can't get to where you are. And while I'm doing other things again, more are dropping. So they keep pushing you all the way down. The way out is after 24 hours, you haven't gotten a response, resend. It's that simple for you. Just resend. So that the next time I'm coming and responding to as many as I am able to before I go on to another thing, I just might have gotten to you, responded, and proceeded. That's the way to do it. Okay? This is why I also say, do it only on Instagram. I can't go all over social media looking for responses, DMs to respond to. This thing is humanitarian service. It's free of charge. So you understand the way it works and follow accordingly. I am very happy and willing to send it to you. But man, I have a lot that I am doing as well. 1 minute to go. Coach, please, custodian or transcorp, which is best to start to accumulate freshly at current prices, custodian or transcorp? You know, transcorp, nobody knows what Tony does. He might just come up and still pay, like, for instance, it doesn't look like the market is very impressed with the 1 naira 60 kobo final dividend paid, making it 2 naira total dividend paid. And you can see transcorp fluctuating again back to 49 from 51. So the one that is strongest is custodian, just that whether or not it can still climb in further, we don't know. But it will be better to plot a buy for custodian when it pulls back. That's just what I think as far as this one is concerned. Okay, ladies and gents, this is where we call it a day in today's live stream. I apologize for as many whose calls I could not take. It's already 2 p.m. Nigerian time when we shut down for the day. Apologies also for as many whose comments I could not meet up to attend to, but never mind. That's why we are in our Net Worth Investors Club group. Feel free to attend and ask your questions in the group as well. We will continue to serve and see that so many more Nigerians get to benefit from this system. I am here for life if you are interested, and we will go on this journey together. Don't relent, stay focused, stay disciplined, keep investing, stay invested. That's how to make money in the stock market. And remember, do not overspread or over diversify your portfolio. Until we meet again on Wednesday, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, this is me saying thank you very much and have a lovely day as we sign off. Bye for now. The entire video for today's session is available on YouTube for those who are located across the world in various time zones, so you can take your time to go through together.